Imagine opening your phone and seeing a message that promises $500 for a ghost DoorDash account, a delivery profile that never existed until that moment. A flickering screen in a dimly lit room shows dozens of phones, each flashing account sold, as if a secret market is trading invisible assets. What if the same app that brings you pizza at midnight also powers a hidden underground economy where riders buy and sell identities like stocks? This is the world of the shadow riders, the people who keep the geek economy humming by trading delivery accounts on the down low. Stay with me, because the story gets wilder with every twist. The geek delivery boom has reshaped how we get food, groceries, and even small packages. Platforms like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon Flex, and Instacart exploded over the last decade, promising quick cash for anyone with a bike or a car. What makes a delivery account valuable isn't just the ability to accept orders. It's the access to high-pay zones, the coveted golden hour delivery windows, and the instant cash-out options that let drivers turn a few orders into a full day's wage. When a platform decides a driver has broken a rule, it can ban that account on the spot, cutting off income in an instant. That risk created a perfect storm for a shadow market to thrive. An underground network where drivers can buy fresh accounts, dodge bans, and keep the money flowing without ever answering a single question. So how did this market sprout from the gig boom? In the early 2010s, when Uber Eats and DoorDash were still new, drivers quickly discovered that using multiple accounts helped them avoid the throttling algorithms that limited order volume. They started sharing new account codes on public forums, posting on Reddit threads, and even on obscure image boards. The first whispers turned into a full-blown exchange as more drivers realized that a brand new profile could unlock the most lucrative delivery zones. By 2020, analysts estimate that roughly 12% of active delivery drivers admitted to using at least one third-party account at some point. The need for immediate income, combined with the platform's zero-tolerance policies, turned a simple workaround into a lucrative black market. Now let's break down how the mechanics work, step by step. The most common channels are private Telegram groups, invitation-only Discord servers, and even dark web marketplaces that operate under names like Shadow Mart. A driver looking for an account first seeks out a reputable seller, often verified by a history of successful trades and positive feedback from other riders. The seller will ask for a quick vetting, usually a screenshot of the driver's license or a background check clearance, to ensure the buyer can pass the platform's identity verification. Once the buyer is clear, the transaction moves to an escrow system, typically using Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency. The escrow bot holds the payment until the seller delivers the credentials. When the handoff occurs, the seller provides a set of login details, often tied to a specific device fingerprint, an EMI number, a MAC address, or a unique device ID, to make the account appear legitimate to the platform's security algorithms. The buyer then logs in on their own phone, sometimes after flashing the device's fingerprint to match the seller's record. Sellers usually include a safety net, a promise to replace the account or refund the buyer if the platform bans it within 48 hours. That guarantee keeps the market fluid because drivers know they have a backup plan if things go south. Pricing varies widely depending on the account's history. A brand new, no-rating account might fetch somewhere between $150 and $300. A gold account, one that already boasts a 5-star rating, a track record of high-value orders, and access to premium zones, can climb up to $800 or even $1,200. The more established the profile, the higher the price, and the more lucrative the sale for the seller. What drives people to become sellers in the first place? Many are former drivers who have built up dozens of accounts over months, then switch to a role where they farm new identities using automated scripts to create phone numbers and spoof device IDs. Others are tech-savvy individuals who see the market as a side hustle, buying bulk phone numbers and leveraging API loopholes to spin up fresh accounts at scale. The ecosystem is surprisingly organized, with reputation scores, dispute resolution channels, and even mentorship programs where veteran sellers teach newcomers the tricks of the trade. Now I want to hear from you. If you've ever wondered why you sometimes see the same driver appear in different neighborhoods within minutes, or if you've heard rumors about ghost riders on your street, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious about what you think this hidden market means for the future of gig work. And if this glimpse into the underbelly of the delivery world is opening your eyes, consider hitting that subscribe button so we can keep peeling back the layers together. The shadow riders are just the tip of the iceberg, and there's a whole network of hidden players shaping the way we get our meals, and it's only getting more complex. Stay tuned, because next we'll explore who the actual buyers are, why they're willing to pay top dollar, and what the biggest bust in this market looked like when law enforcement finally cracked the code. The next piece of the puzzle is the people who actually line up to buy these ghost accounts. They're a surprisingly diverse crowd, and each group has its own set of reasons for diving into this shadowy marketplace. First, there are the opportunistic drivers who have hit a wall with a suspended or permanently banned profile. For them, a fresh start is not just a convenience, it's a lifeline. They've already invested time, a vehicle and a schedule into the gig, and losing that access means an immediate loss of income. By purchasing a pre-warmed account, they can bypass the onboarding process, jump straight into high-pay zones, and start earning again within hours instead of days. Then there are the stackers, a term that's begun to circulate on the private chat groups. These are drivers who already have a legitimate account and maintain several shadow accounts on the side. The logic is simple. Platforms often limit the number of simultaneous active deliveries per driver, and they also impose geographic caps that prevent a single rider from dominating a lucrative hotspot. By juggling multiple identities, a stacker can be on 3 different sides of a city at once, cherry-picking the most rewarding orders and effectively multiplying their hourly earnings far beyond what a single account could ever achieve. A third, more clandestine group consists of organized crime rings that see delivery platforms as a new frontier for fraud. They enlist ghost accounts to execute card-not-present scams, using stolen payment information to place large orders that are then redirected to drop locations under their control. The anonymity of a freshly minted profile makes it harder for merchants and banks to trace the fraudulent activity back to a single source, spreading risk across dozens of disposable identities. In some cases, these rings even use the accounts to launder money, funneling cash from unrelated illegal ventures through the ostensibly legitimate flow of food and grocery deliveries. Lastly, there are curious newcomers, people who have never set foot on a delivery bike, but are drawn in by the promise of quick cash. They buy an account, complete a handful of orders, and cash out, often without ever delivering more than a few meals. The low barrier to entry and the allure of a side hustle that requires little technical skill make this market irresistibly attractive to those looking for a fast, low-commitment income stream. What ties all these buyers together is a willingness to pay a premium for speed, reliability, and the illusion of legitimacy. The higher the rating and the richer the order
only
history,
300.
the more a
It's a
seller
great
can charge.
deal.
A brand
I'll
new
think about
profile, without any reviews,
Here is your
might fetch a few
$1,000.
$100,
Great, thank you.
But a
Have a
five-star
good day.
veteran with a track record of high-value deliveries can command upwards of $1,000. Sometimes even more, when the seller knows the account has access to exclusive golden hour windows that platforms reserve for top performers. These windows, which appear during lunch and dinner rushes, can boost earnings by a significant
How's that
percentage,
sauce coming
making
along?
them the
Almost
most
there, just a
coveted
pinch more.
asset in
And the stir
ghost
fry?
account
Ready in a
economy.
flash.
Now, how does this whole ecosystem stay afloat without collapsing under the weight of law enforcement scrutiny? The answer lies in a combination of technical savvy, social engineering, and a deep understanding of the platform's internal mechanics. Sellers typically use virtual private servers located in jurisdictions with lax data retention laws to host the accounts. They employ SIM stacking services that provide thousands of disposable phone numbers, each linked to a unique device identifier. By rotating these identifiers and periodically re-fingerprinting the accounts, they stay one step ahead of the platform's fraud detection algorithms, which rely heavily on consistent hardware signatures and usage patterns. The community also enforces its own code of conduct. Reputation scores are tracked on private forums, where buyers can leave feedback about a seller's reliability, the accuracy of the account's details, and whether the promised resale guarantee was honored. Disputes are settled through escrow bots that hold cryptocurrency in a smart contract until both parties confirm satisfaction. If a seller fails to deliver a usable account, the escrow releases the funds back to the buyer, and the seller's reputation takes a hit, often resulting in a ban from the most reputable circles. This self-regulating system creates a market that, while illegal, operates with a surprising degree of professionalism and trust. All of this might sound like a well-oiled machine, but like any clandestine operation, it's vulnerable to exposure. The biggest bust to date came in the spring of 2022, when a coordinated task force from federal and local agencies launched an operation codenamed Project Phantom. Investigators first infiltrated a popular Telegram group by posing as a buyer seeking a high-rating account. Over the course of several weeks, they built rapport with a handful of top sellers, gaining access to their private channels and even witnessing live transactions. The breakthrough came when the agents managed to obtain a server log that listed the IP addresses of the machines used to generate the bulk phone numbers. By cross-referencing these addresses with known data broker services, they identified a network of shell companies registered in offshore jurisdictions. These companies were the front ends for the account farms, where automated scripts churned out new profiles at a staggering rate. The operation uncovered a warehouse of refurbished smartphones, each loaded with a different device fingerprint and pre-installed with the delivery apps ready for handoff. When the raid was executed, law enforcement seized over 100,000 active accounts, more than 5,000 smartphones, and a trove of cryptocurrency wallets holding an estimated value in the tens of millions of dollars. Dozens of individuals were arrested, ranging from the low-level sellers who handled the day-to-day transactions to the masterminds who orchestrated the entire supply chain. In the aftermath, the major delivery platforms announced a series of security upgrades, including stricter verification processes, real-time device anomaly detection, and mandatory biometric checks for new drivers.
Hey! What's the holdup? My account is
Stop at the
suspended.
arrests.
We don't care.
The
But I
public
can't.
exposure of the shadow market sent shockwaves through the geek community. Many legitimate drivers reported a surge in account suspensions as platforms tightened their algorithms, inadvertently catching some honest users in the net. At the same time, the black market didn't disappear, it simply adapted. Sellers migrated to more encrypted platforms, began using decentralized payment methods that are harder to trace, and shifted some of their operations to the dark web, where anonymity is baked into the very
Here's your pizza.
architecture of the
Great,
marketplace.
thanks. Have a good night.
So what
You
does
too.
this mean for the everyday rider who orders a pizza or a grocery delivery? On the surface, you might not notice any difference, but the hidden layers of the ecosystem affect pricing, delivery times, and even the safety of the drivers on the road. When ghost accounts flood the market, competition for high-pay zones intensifies, potentially driving down the earnings of legitimate drivers. Moreover, the presence of fraudulent accounts can erode trust between platforms and consumers, especially if a scammed order leads to a poor experience or a delayed delivery. As we look ahead, the cat-and-mouse game between platforms and the shadow market is only going to get more sophisticated. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning-driven fraud detection promise to raise the bar, but at the same time, the same tools can be weaponized by sellers to create even more convincing synthetic identities. The next wave may involve deepfake voice verification, biometric spoofing, or
Hey
even
everyone,
the use of
thanks for joining me
blockchain-based
today.
identity
If you enjoy the
tokens
content,
that
please
can be
like and
bought
subscribe.
sold
Let's
like
get
any
started.
other commodity. Before we wrap up this segment, I want to hear from you. Have you ever encountered a driver who seemed to appear out of nowhere, or perhaps noticed a pattern of deliveries that didn't quite add up? Share your experiences in the comments, and let's piece together the real-world impact of these hidden players. If you found this deep dive into the buyers and the biggest bust like me, give this video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm understand that you want more investigative content like this. And as always, if you're curious about the next chapter, the future of regulation, the role of American
Hey there!
tech,
Subscribe
and
to
how
my
the
channel for more
economy
fun
might evolve
content.
in
Just
response
click
to
the
these
button right
underground
here.
forces, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next episode. The story of the Shadow Riders is far. And together, we'll keep pulling back the layers of an industry that's reshaping how we live, work, and eat.